Hello and welcome everyone, this is Kalevovich coming to you with another Storybook Brawl video. And finally we have a new patch for our game, patch number 71.12, or if you prefer 0.71.12, blue. This patch includes several reworks to heroes, one new character art, a couple of character reworks, and most importantly, some new treasures and some bug fixes. So let's dive right in to the patch notes so that I can give you my opinions on them. So first of all, what you see here is the new artwork for Grumblegore. They're also explaining what it is about, but let's just skip that as long as we know that the artwork is fine, or at least more detailed. As for the heroes, there have been several reworks, like Snow Angel, a hero that has not seen a lot of play or high-level play. For every 3 good characters you buy, get a random good character with +1/+1. Instead, they're doing a progressive ability. Buy 2 good characters to get a level 2 good character, then increase this ability by 1. So if you streamline and only buy good characters, even if you buy good characters to sell good characters, sooner or later, which means by character number 20, if I count it correctly, you will be able to get a level 6 character, a level 6 good character, and those are Bearstein, Good Boy. I mean, why am I even thinking about it? Let's just check. So level 6, you can get a Bearstein, you can get a Good Boy, you can get a Hercules, you can get the Green Knight, with the Green Knight probably being the worst one to get. So overall, 25% of getting a Good Boy after you buy 20 good characters. This is really good, and this really streamlines you into a strategy, but a potentially very good strategy nonetheless. Next up, Sphinx. Used to be when you level up, your spells are free this round. Instead, 5 more health, and when you cast a spell, it's free for the rest of the game. Now, the key word here is cast and not buy a spell. So you can cast it by other means, for example, with Genie's Wish, or with Monster Book, or with Deck of Many Things. Those being much better purchases for you, Monster Book and Deck of Many Things right now. Also remember that the curated pool for those spells is a bit more narrow, but still, if you can Genie's Wish up a Turkish Delight, and later you find a Turkish Delight that costs 0, it can ramp you up very fast. Obviously, this works insanely well with Crystal Ball once you get all the targetable spells going, because this is kind of a built-in Merlin's hat or premium Merlin's hat, because once again, once you get those spells going, there's no stopping you. The only thing stopping you is the limit of the spells that you get, but we'll get to that later. Next up, Trophy Hunter, my favorite, or one of my favorite heroes in the game. Aside from your Last Breath abilities are also Slay abilities. Your Last Breath characters have +2 attack, which means they're more likely to slay. This means that an early game Black Cat can be insane value, doesn't need Mad Mim for itself to slay. Obviously needs Mad Mim for the respawned kitties. But it's much easier for your Lucky to start giving you economy, for your Mummy to start killing and machine gunning a lot of opposing characters. Even your Good Boy is a 4/2 instead of a 2/2. So this is actually a huge boost, because I've been telling this over and over again in my Storybook Brawl tech videos. What the thing you need most importantly for the Slay characters is attack, and here you have a free attack. Make it 2. So this is gonna make Trophy Hunter maybe not go up to tier 0 again, but somewhere around tier maybe 1.5. We'll see. Beauty, at first I didn't understand this rework, but instead of your evil characters are good, it says all your characters are good. So that means neutral characters also get in line, so you can get all your neutrals and you don't care. You can go for all good dwarves with Good Boy. You can go for Copy Boy without needing access to Crown of Atlas, etc., etc. So this is actually bump Beauty up half a tier or even a full tier. So I'm looking forward to playing with her. Now for the new treasures, the main thing you have to remember about treasures that you are limited to 3 treasures. And if you're going for some of the comps, you can try to max up your treasure count by using other means of gaining abilities as having additional treasures. For example, Trophy Hunter, your last breath characters have +2 attack, so that's kind of like a 2/3 of a Ring of Rage that you already have. When you're talking about the Sphinx, it kind of gives you a Merlin's hat for your hat ball. Same would go for Aeon. Like, you can go for hat ball or you can go for Aeon ball, right? Because you need the ball and you need discount, and you can get discount by different means. So this is where the first treasure comes in really handy. Great library card. You probably can't see it because it's just a small miniature, but it's a level 2 treasure that says your shop sells an extra spell. And this is what Potion Master has already, what Sphinx used to have. And this is, for me, kind of, I mean, not 100%, but this is instead of or in addition to Forking Rod or Wand of Weirding for all those spell-based comps. Like when I was going for Hat Ball, usually you would choke up if you don't get a bunch of good shops, of consecutive good shops when it comes to spells, given that from what I remember around a third of the spells that you can cast are targetable. With Forking Rod, you cast one, you get 2, so there's a higher probability for you to get an additional one that you can target. For Potion Master, you start with 2, so you have 2 chances for that 1/3, which means, well, once you have Forking Rod, your shop is going to fill up sooner or later, unless you have some multiple golden chickens or some 2s that you can buy and sell for 1 because you want another spell there. But sooner or later your shop will fill up and you will only get 1 for 1. Same goes for Potion Master. He has that built in, 1 for 1. You don't get duplicate spells, so you don't get duplicate effects, which means this is much, much, much worse. But your shop sells an extra spell. It is good even if you just want to have access to good combat spells late in the game. Like this doubles your chance of getting a Pigomorph at the very least. The most powerful combat spell you can get in the end game. This is going to be difficult to do because you can't go for Hat Ball Fork library card because that's 4 treasures, right? So you will have to go for something like Ball Fork Aeon. Something like that. Also, you have to remember that for some heroes, this library card is slightly worse, especially for those who already have additional things that come up in their shop, like Pied Piper, like Potion Master already, because from what I remember, there's only 1 additional spot. You can only have 8 things in the 7 or 8 things in the shop, which means that for Potion Master, you will have 3 spells, but if you have a Forking Rod, you won't get any doubles because there's no more space in your shop. Also, if you're locking almost full shops with Great Library Card, Potion Master, and Pied Piper, I don't remember off the top of my head, but there's an order to what you're getting. So I do believe that Pied Piper first gets the bonus +1/+1 character, but you're not going to get an additional spell, if you know what I mean. I mean, this is kind of chaotic, but if you've been playing Storybook Brawl for a while, I believe you know what I mean. Just look out for that. Next up, we have Potion Master's Cookbook. This used to be Potion Master's ability. Now it's halved on him. When you cast a spell directly on a character, give it +2/+2 permanently. And we all know how powerful this is because Potion Master got nerfed. He got half of a cookbook, but he got a library card. So yeah, Potion Master really has good built-in treasures for sure. This is a very powerful ability, but this is not for everything and for everyone. Obviously, it is insane with Crystal Ball and the others, but it is also another treasure, so that limits you in that 3 treasure department. But even if early game you can get this off of a Cinderella, all those +1/+1s give you +3/+3. That Wormroot gives +5/+5. Even if you're just casting Potions of Heroism, it still gives the +2/+2 bonus permanently. So this is a very good, especially this early game. Next up we have Skip's Puzzle Rune, a level 2 treasure. Once again, when you replace this, you gain +2 XP and +2 health. And the biggest problem, the biggest hurdle here is going to be replacing this. Because you need to get this early on, you need to get 2 more treasures, and you need to replace this. So actually you need 4 treasures. I mean, if you already have 2 treasures and you happen upon a Skip's Puzzle Rune, and then you're able to replace that, well, then you're just gaining those +2 XP points, you're actually becoming Skip for a moment. And that +2 health is also a good benefit. Who is going to benefit from this the most? Probably Wonder Waddle again. I mean, if tier 0 wasn't good enough for him, because when you can get treasures much easier, like by combining only 2 level 2 or level 3 animals, you can really speed through them. Similar, if you already have a Sky Castle, which means whenever you only need 2 copies of a royal to upgrade them, also speeds things through, and you're just cycling over those royals so we can get past the Skip's Puzzle Rune. Otherwise, you know how difficult it is in some games to even get a single treasure. Not only 3, not only the 4th one. At least this one is the easiest one to replace. Also, if you get Skip's Puzzle Rune, then getting treasures that somehow get destroyed or replace themselves, they are of a lower priority. So runestones, treasure map, secret stash if you're prepared to lose, needle nose daggers if you know you could lose, etc., etc. These become slightly worse. But overall, this is interesting enough. If this was on a much higher level, on level 3 or level 4, this would probably not be doable. Because remember, you need to hit this before level 6, otherwise you're just gaining 2 health. And that's probably why the +2 health clause is in this, so that at least you have a non-zero incentive. It's not an empty treasure when you get it on level 6. Enchanted Clock Tower. This one is quite difficult. After your next brawl, you become level 6 for the round. And I guess Enchanted Clock Tower gets destroyed. So, remember, you're not going to have 12 gold, usually, when you proc this. You're going to have something like 8 or 9 or 10, which means you will be able to reroll a couple of times, hopefully landing a shop with at least 1 6. And remember, you can log that shop. Well, unless you're Loki, because then it doesn't make sense, because he's going to free roll you, right? You all know he will. I can bet on it. All in. But remember, getting a level 6 character on level 4 is very powerful, unless it's Echowood and you don't have any synergies yet, because the power level of characters goes up like this. It isn't a steady line, it is parabolical, I believe is the word. Or hypothetical, because you're not going to get that level 6 character. Anyway, this is most certainly a huge boost. And this is a level 3 character. And if you can see here in the background, you can see a person flying. And this is a hint on the background of a moon. This is a hint for Peter Pans. Because you can get this on Peter Pans, right? Once. And Peter Pans can become level 6 for the round. He can get access to those better spells. So he can even Pigomorph you at one point. And he can get those, I don't know, Ashwood Elms, Good Boys, etc. So yeah, this is a Pans buff for sure, and this is going to be an interesting one, but remember, variance can kick you in the derriere, so be careful about that. Krampus's Sleigh. When you win a brawl, destroy this to gain +5 gold and pick one of your opponent's treasures. The problem with this one is, if someone has those coveted level 6 or level 7 treasures, more often than not, they're going to win. So, a huge benefit of this one is that I'm guessing, I haven't tested it yet because I haven't played any games with the new patch yet, but I am guessing that you can get a duplicate, sorry, not duplicate, a duplicate treasure, right? So you need to you need to fight against someone who's not in the lowest of lows because they usually don't have any treasures. Also, if you've already fought against someone, you should have a general idea of what treasures they had, if any, from several rounds before. Uh, so you can target someone with this. It is difficult, but you can try. I mean, +5 gold. That's amazing already. This treasure replaces itself with something that you can choose, usually 1 out of 3. Uh, a lot of people won't be able to resist this. I don't know what happens if you if you pick an opponent's treasure and one that you didn't get. If you can get an additional copy from your own treasures, I would be guessing not, but the other way around it would work. So I'll probably add something in the comment to this video later if I get any answers to this riddle. But looks very fun, for sure. Looks very fun. It is going to be the basis of a lot of fun games. I can almost G-word guarantee you. Almost. Next up, Radiant Prism, a level 7 treasure. All your characters count as all types. Okay? So, to talk about Radiant Prism, you have to think about what that means. We've kind of had this with Beauty before, where you can have Good Boy and Great Pumpkin King in one composition. This one won't work with Good Boy or Great Pumpkin King because they care about alignment, good, evil. For this one, what you need to look at are character types. And the easiest one that I will tell you is you have a lot of Ashwood Elms, giving all your characters attack because all your characters are treants. So you have very high attack on everyone. And in the back row, you have 3 Court Wizards. When one of your any character is attacked and killed, I make a bonus attack. And Court Wizard has a higher attack because it's also a treant, so it gets the Ashwood Elm buff. That's just the tip of the iceberg. You can also add in Lordy. Give everyone +14/+14 at the start of each brawl. If you're going for dwarves and everyone is a dwarf, you can add in Echowood, which is also a dwarf, so it also triggers for Lordy. If you have King Arthur, it it buffs everyone that is upgraded. So that's great. And the list goes on and on and on. Or Bearstein buffs up Tweedledum. Or Bearstein just gives everyone on the board +2/+2, and if anything gets summoned, it doubles its stats. So the list goes on and on and on, but I believe, or Aeon buffs the attack for everyone when you keep casting spells. The most meme one here is Puff Puff. If you already had Puff Puffs on the board and they died multiple times, all your characters, given that they are also Puff Puffs, will get +X/+X, where X is the number of times a Puff Puff has died on your side of the board during the game. Sadly, your characters don't get the last breath ability of a Puff Puff, unless it gets sucked into the Puff Puff keyword, into the Puff Puff tribe. But that's not going to happen because that would make Radiant Prism even more OP. But you have a lot of synergies that you can be going for. Seriously, a ton of synergies. But I believe Court Wizard and Ashwood Elm is going to be the main one. All right. Next up, Fanny is gone. Dwarf support +2/+2. Instead, we have Bossy. Your other dwarves have +1/+1. This is probably because of Amy. A 4 costing, a level 4 dwarf, 5/5 ranged. I mean, she can be played outside of dwarves just because it's a 5/5 ranged. Neutral, so it doesn't trigger for anything. This is not going to put dwarves on the map again. Radiant Prism is, because then you do want to get those Lordies. Oni Tyrant, the most oppressive tyrant of the previous patch, is getting bumped up back to level 6. its stats go back up to 13-13, and the bonus buff goes to +10/+10. But this means that A, there are fewer of them in the card pool, 10 instead of 15, and B, it is much difficult to get them in the early game and even in the late game. So even though the stat line is the more proper one, the bigger one, the sole fact that you are not going to get him as early, and it's not going to be that everyone has him, we can breathe again. Seriously, the game can breathe again, and I do approve this change back. The list of fixes is here as well. Fix a bug where Irish Mermaid would stop supporting if Evil Eye was replaced. Fix a bug with MacLeod gaining double the stats from summons if you controlled multiple Bearsteins. Miri King Lion's text has been updated to include the Royals. Fixed an issue where while you were in the collection you were unable to use the mouse wheel to scroll up and down. You can do that now. Fixed a bug where Echowood would not gain stats when a Tweedledum was summoned. I did encounter that several days ago, actually. Fixed an issue where if a group name is hidden, it would become visible when re-entering the group lobby. Fixed a bug when playing as the Fates, Frog Prince and Awoken Princess would keep appearing as destined characters after upgrading them. I haven't encountered this one. Fixed a bug where Kidnap and Gloves of Thieving would take up a natural shop space if your hand and board were full. Fixed a bug where Time Flies and Mordred Summons would maintain the bonus from the arc when put into play from hand. Also, art changes. In preparing to upgrade the new board design, the camera has been updated to a perspective camera from our previous orthographic camera. What that means, I'm going to see in the first game that is going to start in about 2 hours as from the moment of recording this video. But it looks like a very fun patch. The oppression of Oni Tyrant has been dealt with. We get new treasures that we can work with. 4 heroes have been reworked, so I need to test them. So there's a lot going on, especially before the SBB monthly that will be happening in 2 weeks, 24th through 26th of June 2022. And until then, I hope you will enjoy the game. Keep enjoying the game as I do, and I hope I will see you around either in the comments here or on my Twitch streams. Kalabovich out.